as it listened to the familiar sounds and felt the familiar movements. But number 17 was wrong, for at that moment the doorbell rang, and Mrs. Brill came bustling into the drawing-room with a yellow envelope in her hand. "Telegram," she announced excitedly to Mrs. Banks. "Your Aunt Flossie's broken her leg, maybe, or it could be something even worse. I don't trust telegrams." Mrs. Banks took it with a trembling hand. She didn't trust telegrams either. They always seemed to bring bad news. She turned the envelope over and over. "Well, aren't you going to open it?" Mrs. Brill was eager to know the worst. "Oh, I don't think I will," said Mrs. Banks. "I'd rather wait until my husband comes home. It is addressed to him anyway, see? George Banks, 17 Cherry Tree Lane." "Well, if it's urgent, you'll be sorry you waited. A telegram is everyone's business." Mrs. Brill reluctantly left the room. She would have enjoyed hearing bad news. Mrs. Banks eyed the yellow envelope as it stood there on the mantelpiece, leaning against a photograph and coolly keeping its secret. "Perhaps," she said hopefully to herself, "it's good news after all. Mrs. Brill doesn't know everything." But she couldn't help wishing that this might be one of the days when Mr. Banks came home early. And, as it happened, it was. He had got off the bus at the end of the lane and was sauntering home past number 21, Admiral Boom's house that was built like a ship, past 20 with its honeysuckle hedge, past 19 with the fish pond in the garden, until he came to number 18. And there he stopped, full of surprise and not altogether pleased. Around the gate his neighbours were gathered, all talking earnestly together. The Admiral and Mrs. Boom, Mr. 20 and Mrs. 19, and Miss Lark from number 16. There was nothing odd in this, of course, a gathering of friends. But what stopped Mr. Banks in his tracks was the sight of a red and white striped tent, the kind that is put over open drains and other holes in the road. And beside it stood a brawny workman deep in conversation with the little group of neighbours.
"Ah, there you are, Banks! Ship ahoy!"
The Admiral's loud voice hailed him.
"You're just the one to find out what this fellow thinks he's doing."
"I don't think, I know," said the workman mildly. "I'm looking over this here house to see what repairs it needs." "But it's empty," Mr. Banks said quickly. "It's been empty for years and years." "Well, it won't be empty for long," said the man. "There's tenants coming in." "But that's impossible." Mr. Banks was distressed. "We all like it just as it is. Every street should have its deserted house." "What for?" "Well," began Mr. Banks a trifle uneasily, "so that people can fill it with their own ideas, the kind of neighbours they would like to have. We don't want just anyone, you know." There was a murmur of assent from them all as they thought of the long, empty rooms of their dear number 18. For the Admiral, they were inhabited by a sea captain who had sailed with Nelson and was ready at any moment, no matter what the weather, to heave up the anchor and put to sea. Mrs. Boom saw it as the home of a little girl with straight brown hair, the kind of child she would like to have had, who wandered about it, soft as a moth, humming gently to herself. Mr. 20, whose wife would never play chess with him, had friends there who were human chessmen, black and white kings and queens, bishops marching from corner to corner, knights riding up and down the stairs. Mrs. 19, who was rather romantic, believed that in the empty house lived the grandmother she had never seen, telling wonderful bedtime stories, knitting pretty garments for her, and always wearing silver slippers, even in the morning. For Miss Lark from number 16, the grandest dwelling in the lane, it was the home of another dog exactly like Andrew, an aristocratic little dog who would never choose, as Andrew had done, a vulgar friend like Willoughby. As for Mr. Banks, he liked to think that in the attic of number 18 lived an old wise man with a very special telescope which, when you looked through its round glass eye, could show you what the universe was up to. "Anyway," he said to the workman, "it's probably not fit to live in after being empty for so long. Have you examined the drain?"